my loves? Welcome back to my channel. So today's video, I am featuring these bad boys, which is my Pampas Grass. Now, if you are not new here, you've probably seen my two videos that I featured these guys. So the first video is basically showing you how you can preserve, how you can dry your Pampas Grass, and this is after you clip them or you buy them from a florist. The second video is giving you an update. I waited a month before I gave you guys an update, so that way you guys can kind of see how the Pampas Grass looks and how it's holding up. Now, this video, it was actually requested, which I'm so happy to do. So if you guys do have requested videos, let me know in the comment down below. But I kind of wanted to do this video as well to kind of give you guys new information that I've learned about Pampas Grass and basically show you how these guys are holding up. Now, if you guys don't know, my wedding got postponed to September 20th. And so, you know, since the first video of when I clipped these guys, it's 7 months now. So I kind of wanted to give you guys more of a feel of, you know, if you're having doubts or if you want to clip your Pampas Grass now, how it's gonna look after 7 months. So I just felt like this was a perfect great timing as well. So if you are not new here, don't forget to like and subscribe down below to join me on this YouTube journey. I do a lot of wedding videos, fashion videos, DIY videos, just basically anything. And welcome guys. My name is Angelica. So guys, without further ado, let's get this video started. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of information about the Pampas Grass. So the Pampas Grass original name, and I am going to butcher it, guys, please don't come at me. It's called Cordaderia Ciliona, which I'll go ahead and put the name right here. Kind of sounds like a Harry Potter name, like, you know, like a spell. Cordaderia Ciliona. I'm probably butchering it, guys. It's so bad, but I'm sorry. Anyway, so this is a flowering plant native to the southern South America. Now, Pampas Grass, it's known for its foliage, like white feathery look, very beautiful, very luscious. And whenever you see Pampas Grass, you kind of see it in like a bush type, and you see a bunch of them just sticking up because they grow pretty tall. Now, the thing about Pampas Grass is that if you take care of it, it can last for more than 30 plus years. The reason why I know this is because the florist who I met, she lives like around this area where I'm at. I've actually bought some Pampas Grass from her, and she was telling me about, you know, how she's had her own Pampas Grass for more than 30 plus years, and she takes care of it, she reuses it for weddings, and I was quite shocked when I heard that. And I'm beginning to think, I think that is true. Now, I've had this Pampas Grass for 7 months now, and it still looks like I just plucked it out. Okay, so before I show you the Pampas Grass and start talking to you, you know, a little bit more of the detail, I want to go ahead and basically give you a little bit of a backstory and kind of tell you what happened with the Pampas Grass that I purchased. So originally, I had no idea what Pampas Grass was. Never seen it before. I mean, it's just something that I never, whenever I was driving, I never looked out to kind of notice the Pampas Grass. And so I was scrolling through, you know, Pinterest, getting wedding inspiration, ideas, and I stumbled upon the Pampas Grass. And I kid you not, I fell in love with it. I love the look. I love how it basically, it's very romantic, very modern boho, that I just instantly, I wanted that in my wedding. So initially I told myself, well, where am I going to get Pampas Grass? Didn't know where, so I decided to go, you know, to my local florist and basically find out if she sold any Pampas Grass or if she had any in her store. Now, she actually did. Now, the person who I was speaking with, I'm not sure if she was the owner or not. I'm pretty sure she was not. She actually had, I think she had like 4 of them, and they were in water, and they weren't open up as these were. So when I purchased them from her, I got 2 of them. She told me, keep them in water and they're going to open up, just keep them like this. So, you know, I went ahead and did that. Little did I know that it was a huge mistake. So if you guys notice the way they look, this is the style of this Pampas grass. Now, it's beautiful, but I felt like if I would have done it upside down, it would have actually opened up a lot more on this side. So see how it's kind of leaning on one side? And that's what happens when you let Pampas grass dry up standing up. Now, another thing that I noticed was that it actually grew mold at the bottom, which is why I recommend do not put them in water. When I did my own research and everything, I've learned that when you clip the Pampas grass, it's like clipping a rose. It's dead. Like, I mean, you can't keep the rose alive. It's going to eventually die unless you preserve it. So that is why you do not want to leave the Pampas grass in water after you clip them. So that was, again, that was the first thing of what happened. But nevertheless, I was still very happy with this style of Pampas grass. I love how it had very minimal fallout compared to another one that I'm going to show you. And so I was very happy with it that I went ahead and placed an order and bought 12 more. So in the second video, if you guys go back and watch that, when I do an update, you guys will see that I actually had long stems of Pampas grass. And these were the 12 that I picked up from the local florist. And I actually told her, these look way different compared to the first two that I bought. Now I think I was speaking maybe with the owner or another employee. It was quite confusing because obviously a lot of local florists, they don't have one person working there. You know, they have multiple people. So I'm speaking with someone different. And she's like, no, they're the same. I showed her pictures. She was insisting they are the same. I said, okay, fine. I'll take them. I was very happy. Now, when I received the Pampas grass, they weren't ready yet. So normally when you buy Pampas grass from the florist, they kind of look a little bit like green and they're more like thin. So they kind of look a little bit something like that and green. They're probably not dry like this. And if you do receive it like that, don't worry because it will fluff up eventually by itself. But she told me don't put them in water because I kind of told her what happened with the mold and everything. She's like, don't put them in water, but leave them up and down. Now, this is, when I picked them up, this was after I did my own research and decided to dry my own Pampas grass where you're supposed to dry them upside down. So I went ahead and listened to her, and I should have just gone with my gut instincts, guys, because turns out they did not open up. Like, they actually just stayed like a stick like that. Didn't open up at all, and I was getting worried, and it's been like a month now since when we went back to look at them. And so that's when Dylan was telling me, hey, have you seen the Pampas grass? I'm like, I passed by and I saw it. It seems like it's opening up. He's like, only some are, but not all of them are opening up. So that's when I called the florist, told her about it. She was so sorry about it. And she went ahead and replaced my 12 Pampas grass that I purchased from her. So I said, okay, fine. She gave me the shorter stems, which is, this one is one of the ones, and this one right here. And as you can see, totally different compared to the first one. And this is the ones that I picked up the second, well, I guess it's the second time that she replaced them. So again, she was very confident, telling me that I should leave them standing up. But at this point, I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm going to put some upside down and I'm going to leave some standing up. And I really want to basically experiment and really see what a huge difference does it make from letting them dry up standing up or upside down. And that's when I came into my conclusion that it's better to let them dry upside down. But these two, I went ahead and dried them standing up because I kind of wanted to see what would happen. And again, that's when these kind of just felt towards one side. So depending on how you place your pampas grass, I'm not saying you cannot dry them standing up, you can, but I've just noticed that when you do, it's like it prevents it from like doing its thing. So that is what happened with my little journey with my purchase of pampas grass. The cool thing about pampas grass is it comes in different shapes, different styles, and it's so much fun to work with. And I kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit more tips and things that I've learned throughout the couple months of me working with pampas grass. First off, it will always throw foliage no matter what. So guys, if you guys don't like that, I probably won't recommend pampas grass for you. But that's only if you're really tugging at it and messing around with it. I have these in my living room just sitting there and they do not fall off. They only fall off if you're really being aggressive towards them. So if you guys feel like, you know, it's been 3 months since you had your pampas grass and you see it falling off, don't worry guys, it is normal. It's just a foliage leading, you know, it's little branches, which is normally like that's the pampas grass. That's its nature. I wanted to show you this one specifically because I kind of want to let you guys know what I ended up doing. So I also experimented in how I can clean up the pampas grass. Sometimes when you purchase or you clip pampas grass, you get some that look like this, which is so funny and messy. Let me do a little bit of a close-up so you guys can kind of see. But I think this pampas grass is so funny looking, fuzzy, and very like uncontrollable. Let me put this one down. And all like the way it opened up, I kind of felt like it has like little bunches in the middle, which makes it look a little bit messy, but it also makes it look very cute. The problem with it, it has a lot of fallout. This was the hardest one to work with. It made a huge mess even after hairspray, still made a lot of mess, which, you know what, I'm fine with that. But the way I experimented with this is I decided to grab one of these and kind of like vacuum suck some of the fallout, and it actually cleaned it up a little bit because it was messier than this. But I just kind of felt like if I did that for all the ones that I have that look like that, it would have taken like such a long time, and I felt like it would have probably made it a little bit super slim. So this is one of them that I actually vacuumed, but this is a different style than that one. This one didn't really have a bunch, but I just wanted to kind of like vacuum and kind of see if I can make it a little bit thinner, a little bit cuter, and it actually worked. So that's another tip, guys. If you have a pampas grass and you kind of want to, you know, make it a little bit thinner or like, you know, clean it up a little bit, grab the suction of your vacuum and just gently kind of go a little bit inside it and then pull it out, and you know, and hold on to it really tight, and this is what you'll basically get. Now this one looks totally different, like I mentioned, because I cleaned it up and it is a different style of pampas grass. So will it work if you were to do it to this style? I'm not sure if it's going to look the same. So you kind of have to be careful. You kind of have to go with your gut instinct and kind of look at what style of pampas grass you have at home. So I'm going to grab this one right here again because, like I said, I have 114 of pampas grass, and like I'm telling you guys, I did so much with the pampas grass because I kind of felt like I had nothing to lose. You know, I can kind of play around with it, vacuum it, blow dry it, and see what happens. So when I noticed this one wasn't really like opening up as great as I wanted it to, I went ahead and took my blow dryer, went to my backyard, and blow dried the pampas grass, especially this one right here. I actually blow dried this one to kind of like get a little bit cleaner, get it fluffier. And the blow dryer actually helped get rid of a bunch of the messiness it has. But then that's when I realized, you know what? This is the style of this Pampas Grass. It's always gonna look like this. So I kind of gave up on that one. I know. But it made a huge, huge mess. So just keep that in mind. You know, that's one of the things that you can do with your Pampas Grass if you're noticing that it's not really like fluffing up and you don't really want to mess around with it with your hands. It's best if you actually blow dry it for a bit, and that is supposed to help. Now, if that doesn't really help as much, then you can go ahead and put it in direct sunlight by the window and just let it sit and do its thing. And that is what happened to this one right here. I left it by the sun, and this is how it turned out. Now, this one I did not hang upside down, so as you can tell, this is why it's leaning towards one side. If I would have done it upside down, it probably would have fluffed up in all back here. But again, I'm experimenting. So I left this one up and down by the window, by the sun, and this is how this one turned out. So guys, don't feel like you have like a ugly looking Pampas Grass, or if you feel like your Pampas Grass is not opening up great, give it time, and also be considerate of the fact that different styles of Pampas Grass open up totally different. Okay, so let's do a brief summary of basically what this video was about. 1, remember, Pampas Grass will always have fallout, no matter what. Even if you know, spray a whole can of hairspray, doesn't matter. You're always going to get fallout no matter what. 2, direct sunlight will help make it fluffier. 3, you can use a blow dryer to make it fluffier as well, but be very careful when you do. 4, you can use a vacuum to clean it up, give it more of a cleaner look, cleaner shape, but use it under your own discretion because again, Pampas Grass is very weak and fragile, so you want to be careful when you do. 5, so when you are drying your Pampas Grass, keep this in mind. Now I did mention that I experimented with up and down, upside down, the way I dried them and how they came out. But also keep in mind, the style of your Pampas Grass is going to determine how it's going to look. For example, this one right here. I actually dried this one upside down. So when I had it upside down, it was actually a little bit more open. But the minute I placed it this way, it actually took its course, and this is how it ended up looking. So just because, let me show you guys, which one is it? Right here. This one right here, let me see if I can pull it out. For example, this one right here, I actually tried this one upside down, so it looked like this when you dry it. But when you stand it up, that's when it's going to determine how the leaves are going to fall in place. So, you know, don't feel like my Pampas Grass doesn't look this way or that way. How come yours looks different? Keep in mind, different styles, different colors, and different looks, which is why Pampas Grass is so unique. Okay, so I want to show you this right here, which I'm actually going to pick up in a second, but I kind of wanted to show you what is happening to these. Now these I actually have in my garage because I don't have a lot of room to keep them inside the house. So they are actually changing color. Now keep in mind, Pampas Grass, again, different styles of Pampas Grass and also different tones of color when it comes to the natural look of a Pampas Grass. So let me show you what I mean. So right here, this is one of the actual pieces that I'm going to be using for the entrance of my ceremony. And as you can see, this one right here, it's white along with this one right here. And this one's kind of turning white too. And I've noticed that I have different tones of Pampas Grass. This one right here is one of the ones that I actually vacuumed, so kind of, you know, gives it a little bit of a different look. And this one right here is actually the same one as this one here, but this one I didn't vacuum, so you can kind of see the difference it made. And I love just having different styles, different looks. It makes it very unique. But yeah, guys, like, I've noticed it's starting to change color, which I actually do not mind. And I don't know if it has something to do with the fact that I maybe have him in the garage and there's not a lot of lighting or sunlight. But I mean, these right here are really pretty, and I have these in direct sunlight, and these look a little bit white too. So maybe over time, Pampas Grass turns white. I don't know. I don't know about that one, guys. That one is still a question that I'm still trying to figure out. So in August, I will give you guys another update, because it's going to be closer to the wedding, and kind of show you if they all change white or not. So that will be a question that we will answer in the future. So I'm going to go ahead and show you one of my wedding DIY projects that I did. I actually did a video on this, but I haven't put it up yet. I'm still kind of waiting for my wedding to pass before I do, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek and also kind of show you what happened to this Pampas Grass. The Pampas Grass that I will show you is actually one of the Pampas Grass that I purchased from the florist. Again, different styles, different looks, they will open up differently, and this is a proof of how different Pampas Grass is compared to each other. So right here is a cute little thing that I did, and let me do a close-up. It's so beautiful. I ended up putting this right here, which I love how romantic it looks. This is going to be on top of our welcome sign, and I used a lot of full flowers. I used these kind of like leaves, and also this is the Pampas Grass that I was talking to you about. It didn't really open up as great. The color is so different. It feels really different compared to the other ones I have. It doesn't feel really soft. It's a little bit stiff. And this was one of the ones that I got from the local florist. And I kind of feel like I was a little bit bummed out, but actually, after I put it together, I actually liked how it really made it look. It actually put this style together, which kind of gave it more of that super neutral look. So I'm not mad. It's just very interesting to kind of experience the different looks of a Pampas Grass. Okay, so another thing that I forgot to mention is whenever you're doing a DIY project with Pampas Grass, it will get everywhere, guys. And I'm not exaggerating. It's everywhere right now too, which is normal. So just keep that in mind. And I kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit of a tip. If you guys can't wait until I do a DIY project, let me give you a little tip of how you can use Pampas Grass. So let me come a little bit closer. So let's say you have a Pampas Grass here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna follow it down here. And then if you clip this, just pull it out and insert this into any style of foam. Now you've actually created like a cute little Pampas Grass, and you don't have to use the full plant. So that's one of the cool things about Pampas Grass that I love doing when I was doing DIY project, is that you don't necessarily have to use the full Pampas Grass. You can just clip little clippings and insert them, and it really gives it a very, very sophisticated, very pretty look when it comes to DIYing your projects. Now, I know I kind of feel like the one question I will always have is, what is the right way to dry the Pampas Grass? Whether you stand it up or upside down. I personally prefer upside down. So if it is a little bit confusing, it is a little bit confusing for me too. Again, I'm not a professional, but it is what I know and what I've learned. And I've learned that I do like drying the Pampas Grass upside down. Okay guys, so before I end this video, I'm gonna go ahead and say two last things. One, how do you clean pampas grass? Because I've gotten this question before and I actually didn't really know how to answer it until I decided to do a little bit more research and put my thinking cap on and finally figure out how you can clean pampas grass. So let's say, it's been raining right now. So after it rains, you notice that the pampas grass looks a little muddy or etc., right? Well, if you pass a paper towel or try to dry it with your hands, it's gonna get everywhere. So my best bet is just to water it down like a normal plant. Because again, pampas grass, the rain is not going to affect the foliage. If anything, after you wet the pampas grass, just let it dry. And if it's still really dirty, maybe consider like dusting it off a little bit with your fingers. But that is the best, basically the best information and the best advice I can give you when it comes to cleaning your pampas grass. And lastly, number 2, there's a huge gray area of what is the best way to dry your pampas grass, whether you should stand it up and down or upside down. Personally, I like upside down. So, if you have a lot of pampas grass to play around with, go ahead, experiment on your own, hang some upside down, hang some up and down, and you can kind of see how they're turning out. It will not affect your pampas grass. Your pampas grass will always be beautiful, whether it opens up fully, whether it's fluffy, but also keep in mind different styles, different colors, different looks. That is all about the pampas grass. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in and watching this video. I really hope you learned something from it. And yeah, I will let you guys go. Mwah. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Mwah.